What is going on, guys? Today I'm going through a live build of what you can actually sell to a client in your automation agency. So I was thinking about this a lot recently, and it's something that I probably will tap into as well. Just got to figure out a couple of logistic things, but it is, building CRMs just for people. Now, I've been doing this, and I normally couple it with a different offering, whether it be like a full automation stack or whatever, but building specifically just CRMs for businesses. Now, I'm gonna go through a local business in this example. I'm just gonna use like a contractor where you could sell this to them, right? Just quickly before I start building it, you could sell this as like a one-off build and then like a retainer model. Now, a lot of people are a little bit iffy on the retainers, but I've figured out a way that you can kind of sell that without it sounding like a scam or whatever, like you're trying to chokehold them or whatever. So build and then do a per seat charge. So what you can do is charge like $15, $20, $30, $50, $100 per seat on top of your build. Now, this is just personal preference, up to you, but if you feel like you can sell this to someone and you end up getting a $100 retainer, that's better than having no retainer, right? And then they understand as they scale, their needs scale too in terms of the platform. So this is specifically for GHL, if I haven't mentioned this. So again, super easy to get this one done. It only takes a couple of hours to build, if that. I'm going to rush through it pretty quick, but skipping through the intricacies. So let's jump right in and get started. So I'm going to go entirely blank for this one. I don't want to, have any assets done for me. So inside GHL now, we're going to just call it contractor and testing, and we're going to go on automation.com. Right, and so what I'm doing here is just creating the basic sub account in Go High Level, right? So this is going to be contractor example. Now you can go through the search function and find their business and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's just going to be just doing it real simple. Now, once we've got all this, 3016, phone number, let's just skip out this. Cool, and website and time zone doesn't really matter right now. And we're going to press save. So what this is going to be, I did a little bit of a thing here. So all it's going to do is be a CRM for them to manage their leads, a welcome text message, a reminder to call the lead once a lead comes in, remove the lead from workflow if an inspection is booked, a contact form for their website, or a really simple form or a link just via Make, and a really quick way to manage their leads on their phone. Todoist is going to be this one. So this is going to be 3 parts: CRM, contact form, and adding leads on the go, because that's a pain point for contractors because they're always on the go. Cool. So now we've got our sub account. I'm just going to switch to this one quickly. First, I'm going to build out the pipeline, and once that's done, we'll do a couple of little automations, and then I'll talk about the second part. So landing in the dashboard, super simple. We're going to go straight to opportunities, and we're going to go to pipelines, and we're going to create a new pipeline. So we're going to call this just contractor, and we're going to say the first stage of this is we need to flesh this out a little bit. So a contractor, for example, someone who does home improvements, is going to have a couple of different stages in their workflow that they're already doing that they don't kind of track. So it may be like lead inquired, it may be booked inspection, so they're coming to quote it out or whatever. They may have booked job, and then they will have completed job. So for us, we're going to say inquired, so lead inquired. We're going to say booked inspection. We're going to have booked job, and we're going to have job complete. Now, with this, I've seen people have literally 50 stages in their pipeline, and if you have a really complicated sales process, then sure, 100%. Or if your client has a super complicated sales process, then you may need that. But I don't think it's effective. I think having a simpler pipeline is better. So it's very different for something like tech sales and all that kind of stuff. But for these businesses, keep it simple, stupid. It's the KISS method. So looking at this here, we've got our CRM, very basic, fantastic. So Inquired, booked inspection, booked job, job complete. The second thing we are going to look at for them is when they actually add in a lead. So we're going to jump into automations and what's going to happen, right? My thought process with home improvement contractors is they're going to be on the road a lot, right? So they may need to, call a lead later or take a phone call when they're back at home, or if they have someone doing admin who can take the call, right? So when they capture details or when leads come in, they need to be reminded, right? So we're going to start an automation. We're going to start from scratch. And when it loads, we're going to call this one lead inquired. And it's going to be technically stage one. So stage one, lead inquired. So what this is going to be is just if they put in their details or a contact's created, it's the very start of the entry. So entry into the CRM. So the first trigger is going to be something simple like, contact created. Contact created. Because if you assume that once a contact is created and they're going to be put into a pipeline. So fantastic. So we're going to save this and we're going to say wait, 3 minutes just in case they've don't want to seem too automated. And then we're going to send an SMS that says, hey, thanks for the inquiry. And you would put in a call to action of sorts here. I'm going to press save. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go delay. Wait, sorry. And we're going to say wait 30 minutes. And then we're going to set an internal notification to an SMS because we're going to go as easy as possible. And we're going to set it to a particular user. And you would select your user here, right? But for this sake of this, I'm going to go custom number and dox myself by accident here. Hopefully just blur that out. And then we're going to press save in a second, but we're going to say new lead, call them, and then you would put in the custom value of the contact's details, so contact full name, and then phone, right? So something to consider in this, right? Especially when you're building these CRMs, there's multiple different stages to the actual build. And it's kind of chicken and egg. Do you build the pipeline first before you build the inbound connection? Do you build the calendar before you build the CRM? So for me, I kind of do it in a wishy-washy, just jumping back and forth. So this may be very confusing to people, but I want you to see my process. So we've got a super simple workflow here that will just remind someone in 30 minutes to call them again. Now you could have multiple different stages to this, like personal follow-ups being call the lead, call the lead, call the lead, which some people need, right? So that's a conversation to have with your client. Now, or if it's you, if you're setting this up. So that's our first step, lead inquired, fantastic. So when a contact is made, any contact, wherever they're coming from, it will run that automation if I turn it live. One thing that we should probably actually do is make sure they're actually in the CRM too. So when a contact is created, we will put them into the lead inquired. So the way that we do that is by create an opportunity. So we go create or update opportunity, and we're going to say in pipeline contractor and in stage inquired and contact first and last name. You can say, their lead value is $2,000 and the opportunity source came from, we'll leave that blank for now. So we'll just save that. Fantastic. So now we need to think, if we think about doing this in order, the actual lead coming in being the first step, there's actually a couple of things before that. So how does the lead actually make it to the CRM, right? So we got the welcome text message. We just did that. Reminder to call the lead internally. Remove lead from workflow if inspection booked. I will build that in a second. There are a couple of things that you can do in order to capture leads of an existing business, right? So if they have a website, you can build a form inside Go High Level to place on their website. Alternatively, you can just map a automation from the platform they're using. Say, for example, if it's WordPress, or if they're even using something like ClickFunnels, which is unlikely, but you know, if they're using something like Wix, you can just plug an automation into Make and send it to Go High Level. Now, if you were to do that, this is how you're going to do it, and then I'm going to show you how to set up a form if you're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go create new scenario, and say, for example, they are using Wix, right? I think there's a Wix integration for this. If there isn't, then awkward. Let's just have a look. So Wix, and let's see if they have, they don't have a, oh yeah, watch form submissions. So this is what we're going to be able to do. And then what you'll have to do inside Wix is create a webhook. I'm not going to go through that because it's not super important, because we're not platform agnostic with this. There may be other steps you need to take, like just do that, that's totally fine. If you don't know how to do that, then comment below and I'll tell you specifically. All right, cool. So the second step we're going to need to do is go and get lead connector, right? So high level lead connector, and we are going to click here, and we are going to create a contact, right? So in our automations inside the CRM, we have the opportunity creation, so we can kind of ignore that for now. Literally all we need to do is put in the details of the person, right? So this is where you would fill out email, phone, first name, last name, gender. Gender is not required. And then what you would do is you would put in a tag that you know was relevant to them. So for example, we could say this is a warmer lead, right? So we would tick that and it would automatically tag them, sending them into the CRM. And then you can put in any other details that you would like to do here, right? So that's a really simple way of like bringing information across if they don't want to change their website. To save yourself having to use Make or Zapier or whatever, you can do it a different way. Now, the way that you would do that is by going into Sites on the left-hand side, and you would go then into Forms, right? So we're going to go into Forms Builder. Now, what you can do with forms, a lot of people use the standard look of a GHL form, and to be honest, they're really ugly. And whenever I look at a business that's using GHL and I see they're using just the standard form, I'm like, dude, this kind of looks like a business that uses an @Gmail for their domain, and it just looks kind of crap, in my opinion. So this here, for example, is the standard GHL form. I'm going to show you how to make it a bit nicer and what I kind of do to forms, and then I'm going to show you how to integrate it to the website. So the first thing that I do is turn off these labels, right? I think that having the message in the actual box is totally fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on these two dots here, and then we're going to unselect show label, right? So now we've just got first name, last name, email, phone. And there's a couple other things that we're going to look at too. So firstly, I am going to remove this agree to terms and conditions, which you do need, but for the sake of the video, it doesn't really matter. And we are going to change the font because the standard font looks pretty gross. So these are considered the placeholders, right? So if you're looking at this, you've got label, short label, placeholder. This is the one we're looking at. So I don't like the font Inter. I'm going to go to Montserrat. It is my one of my favorites. And we're going to make the size of the actual font inside bigger so it's easier to read, right? And I'm going to increase the weight to about 400, which will just give it a better kind of, you're able to read it better. This is legibility, read it, I don't know. Build automations, I'm not an English scholar. So we've got our information here, and then we're going to have a button. So the button obviously looks a bit odd right now. It just says button. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to change it. I always forget where button is. So it's in a weird spot. So if you go click on this, and there we go. If you just click on it, it'll come up. So we go submit. And I'm going to change that to bold. And then we can scroll down and change the actual like specs of the button. So I'm going to change this quarter radius to 20 because I'm going to change these to 20 as well. And we are going to change it from full width to just submit, right? We don't necessarily need to, but I think it looks a little bit better in this situation. Going back to the fields and changing them to be a little bit more rounded as well. So where is it again? So quarter radius, we're going to change that to 20, right? And a couple of things, right? If we were just to take this now and put that onto a website, we would get this disgusting, you know, box that will sit around it. It'll look really weird. So I'm going to essentially get rid of that box by, you know, turning this into a transparent background, right? So, oh no, that's not the one we're needing as well. So if we go, form style and transparent background, right? We're almost there. We can still see the shadow, so I'm going to get rid of the shadow as well by just going full transparent. And you can kind of see that there is a border there as well. So you can either change the border radius to 0 and it'll get rid of it entirely, or you can, again, do the same thing, put the transparency all the way down, but it's done it for me. Oh no, it's still there, so change that to 0. Cool. So right now we've got a form that looks significantly better than we did before. Right, so this then can be put on your client's website, and it looks pretty good. Like, it looks pretty decent. It looks like a bit of a WordPress form. So the way that you actually do that is you press integrate, and you can select how you want it to kind of look, right? Inline is what we're going to keep for this one, and we're going to go copy the embed code. Now, the embed code is going to look a little bit like this. So if we have a look, it's going to be, oh, that's gross. Let's just make this normal text. It's going to look like this, right? So what you will then do is go onto their website, wherever it's hosted, Wix, whatever, and you would implement this wherever you feel necessary or wherever they currently, you know, put their leads. So what this does, it allows you to not have to rely on an external automation platform, saving you or them a bit of money, which is great. So we're just going to get rid of that there, and we will just bold this because we've gone through it. Really simple form. We did that. Cool. Now, a really easy way to manage their leads on their phone. I kind of thought of this from a to-do list video that I saw a while ago of how people can actually add leads really fast. If you've used the Lead Connector app, the GHL app, it's kind of shite. I don't love it. It's kind of okay to manage your leads, but it's just not very intuitive. Could be better. So the best app that I found for your phone to like sit as an iPhone widget or an Android widget, I guess, is the Todoist app. Now, if you haven't used Todoist, it looks a little bit like this, right? So this is what it looks like. So specifically, I want to show the iPhone app. Let's see if they have it. Let's see if they have a picture of it. Yes, we love your funnel. Very good. Not off the top. I can't show you on my phone because I'm recording from my phone. But it kind of, let's just see. You got 13 seconds to find this, Matt, or else we're not looking at it anymore. It actually just looks like this, right? So this part here, you can write an agenda, you can put some information and a description, right? So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do this inside Make, and I'm going to basically watch Todoist for any tasks that get added, and then we're going to add them as leads inside Go High Level. So maybe I'll put on a screenshot of my phone because I use this setup, and I'll show you exactly how it looks. So if we jump into our little Make window here, I'm going to change this to Todoist because, you know, we're building in public and we're doing it right now. So we're changing this to Todoist. Oh no, we just need to delete this. Delete module, we'll keep that, and delete this module, cool. I was trying to be tricky, didn't work. Todoist, fantastic. So we are going to go into here and we are going to go new event, and we are going to, you have to set up a hook essentially, right? I'm just going to use this one for example, doesn't really matter. What it will do is we will have a look here and go back into Go High Level. Now, what this is doing, it just is simplifying the process of adding leads to the CRM. If you haven't used Go High Level, if you haven't sold Go High Level before, if you haven't like adapted it yourself, the learning curve of actually using it is pretty freaking high. And that's complete honesty. A lot of gurus won't tell you this because they want you to think it's super easy to sell. But the adaptation rate of Go High Level, if you don't have a really good training process, which I didn't have for a long time, and it's still improving, it's pretty hard. So getting people to use it is massive, right? So Todoist, we've got our details in here. So inside Todoist, the event will be the information that came through, and you can like put in a bunch of different information in here. So you can set up custom values. You can have a bunch of specifics to the person. So if you had like a name, phone number, what they wanted contracted, and like what's their budget or whatever, you could have that passed inside Todoist, right? And then you would simply just fill out these things, what are they called, fields, with the information from the custom values of Todoist, right? That's it. It's super simple, right? The simplest solutions are usually the best. So that's how I would do it, right? And a really quick way to manage their leads on their phone. Right now, we have a very rough CRM, and there's something that we need to do in terms of if they actually book in a job, So if we have a look at our pipeline again, if we go back here and go opportunities and go pipelines, we have a booked job and booked inspection, right? Obviously, we can set up two automations for these respectively. So booked inspection, the way that we can do that is obviously give them a calendar where they can, book them in themselves. And whenever the calendar event is confirmed, it will send a notification of booked inspection. And the same thing for booked job, right? One thing that I would like to highlight in this is a lot of contractors, a lot of people who are, getting used, like have been running a business for a long time, they will usually have a process in place when it comes to scheduling themselves, whether that be a diary, or if that's just their phone with Google Contacts or calendars or whatever. The reason I say this is because my family's business when I was growing up was pest control, and my stepdad at the time had this diary, and he would buy a new diary every year, and he would literally schedule himself writing down in different pages of the diary. It worked for him. It was fantastic, but getting him to use something like this would be tough, So when it comes to these like booked inspections and booked jobs, you need to make it simple for someone to use. So whether that is you set up an automation to watch new calendar bookings on, their calendar, and then bring that across and move the lead from inquired to booked inspection, that may be an option. It's not going to be just as simple as, getting them to, add in a calendar event every time they book in a call, or a job. And then when you've moved them in here, you want to remove them from any other separate workflows as well. That's the note that I had, so that they don't get continuously spammed with additional information. Fantastic. So I had in here that I had a bonus section if I had time, which I do, for an Airtable little dashboard. Now, the reason why I put this in here is because I am not afraid to admit when I am learning something, and I am learning Airtable. So I've created a super simple way for me to learn it better is by integrating it into pretty much everything that I do. As you can see, I've created a little database here. This is an automated workflow that basically just scrapes information from Upwork. I think I spoke about that in a different video. So we're going to look if I can create another one here. If I can't, then that's fine. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, I can't. That's fine. I'm on the free version. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that for now. I hope you found this valuable. Again, you can sell this. You can do this yourself and implement it into your business. However you want to do it. I think that building CRMs is super valuable. If you don't have Go High Level, you can do this in Monday.com. You can do this in ClickUp. You can do this really in Notion. Whatever you want to do, that's totally fine. It is just specific to what you feel comfortable building in. Obviously, for me, it's Go High Level because it's my bread and butter, and I've got the SaaS mode, so I can do as many as I like. Yeah, have a nice night. Bye.